Yeah, let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. Let's just go through the line. We'll introduce ourselves. I am Shorty, Mr. Gippy, the DM, whatever you end up calling me, does not matter. I'm just here to make sure that we follow the rules that are totally made up all in my mind and did not come in any source books. Who do we have playing Marcel?
You have me, Juan. I'm playing Marcel, an awesome warlock, good at talking, good with people, and good with friendship. That's what I want, friendship and freedom.
Friendship.
And probably annoying everyone else in this table.
Hey, it comes with the territory. What about Kieran?
Oh boy, I'm the chaos piece, and also the order, and a bit, I'm the rogue, the sneaky boy. Welcome to my chaotic first.
Absolutely. Rosaris, you're next.
I'm Zach. I'm playing Rosaris. I'll be sort of the frontliner. I will be a lot more controlled than the previous two will be. I will be a little bit more quiet too.
And I appreciate that. What about Athera, our quiet little druid character?
So I'm Natalie. I'm playing Athera. She is quiet, and she really likes tea, so there'll be lots of tea in this game.
Lots of tea. Next, we have our lovely tattooed boy, Lucian.
Hi, I'm Nick. I play Lucian the Wizard. He prefers not to be around people, to keep to himself, but I think he has plenty of opinions when the time calls for them, so.
We love it. And then our fan favorite that kind of blew up on TikTok, Gwen.
Yeah, I'm Izzy. I'm playing Gwen, and I'm just playing a ranger. Never really played that before, so
And
see
then
how it goes.
Yeah, last but certainly not least, we have our lovely Leo.
Hi, I'm David. I'll be playing Leo, passive cleric.
Passive. That's one word for it. Anyway, let's jump right into the stuff. So, we're going to start looking out over this beautiful world of Panthea. We are in the nation of Wisteria. There are 7 different kingdoms, all wildly diverse and different from one another. We are going to zoom in on a little kingdom known as Ilium. It's bustling with art and culture and music. The cities are either quiet, sleepy, and happy, or big festivals day in and day out. Not far off the road from one of the little cities on a bridge is this school called Ura Lumis. There is a stone wall surrounding what looks like a college campus set in a forest. A river runs through the center of campus. A huge academy building sits in the northwest corner with little other buildings sprawled out across the rest. There's a plaza to the southwest with this beautiful, luscious pink tree in it, and pathways carved through the trees going across campus. We sort of zoom in looking at the crowds of students going through the entrance gate into this little plaza area with a fountain, heading over to the West Cast building where people are getting their room assignments. We're going to go even further in, zooming in, looking at a gold coin being flipped through the air with little ridges on the side, shimmering in the daylight as we are probably right around lunchtime. The coin flips and flips and flips and then lands in a little hand. And then we see our lovely Kieran sitting there with some of his bags carried in with him. And can you give us a physical description of Kieran?
Kieran's about 5'6", maybe and a half there if you want to add it in there. He's quite slim and slender. He doesn't eat unless he has to. A very fox-like face with pale skin, a little bit of freckles, and crazy ginger hair at the top. His eyes are green with nice piercing glare, and he knows how to put a mask on and change it if it needs to, though.
Absolutely. And for our non-Spotify, I guess our YouTube crowd, the easiest way to show off how Kieran looks is, I guess, literally just scoot your head over because we have your art behind him, right?
Oh, yeah.
There he is. Look at that wonderful little man and the art behind him. Anyway, how is Kieran feeling? Class is starting. Things are getting excited around campus. There are a ton of first-year students. What's what's going on in his mind? The energy is high. How's he feeling?
Kieran's excited for adventure to see what's next. His whole life has just been going, going, going. He's ready to just sit down and make a name for himself. He is ready to talk to new people, meet up with whoever he thinks his destiny needs, and cause a little fun while he's at it.
Absolutely. So you continue on. You go into the West Cast building. You get your room assignment. You are going to be placed in Xanth Hall, which is, from what you know, they describe the Rangers, Rogues, and Artificers all live here. They give you directions. It's going to be off toward like the western end of campus, just across the river. So they send you on your way. The next person let's look at, let's go to Gwen, our favorite little blue dragonborn.
Right.
Would you mind describing how Gwen looks and what she's doing in this moment as she's funneling into the school?
She's 19. She's 6'3". She's blue and has like a white underbelly. She has like scales instead of hair protruding out of her head. And she's not carrying really like any bags with her besides just like one big backpack and just like a bow mount on her, like under her arm. And she just I don't know, I guess that's it.
Yeah. What are the thoughts at the forefront of her mind? Is she excited? Is she nervous?
She's definitely excited, and she just like can't wait to meet some of the new people that she's gonna probably befriend along the way.
Absolutely. Gwen continues on going into, again, the West Cast building where the Res Life Center is. This is where you guys get your room assignments, where you handle any like roommate issues or Res Life issues. They give you your room assignment. You are also going to be in Xanth Hall. They give you the directions over there, tell you your room number, and send you off on your way. The next person, let's go with Lucian. We see a very young, studious man walking up to the West Cast building. Probably a moment that you've been looking forward to for a long time. Tell us how Lucian looks and what he's thinking of right now. Can you do so unmuted?
Good point. Lucian is below average for a human of about 5'2". Definitely underweight. Barely being 18 years of age, he has a hairless face that's sharp and kind of slightly sunken in from a lack of sleep. He has some semblance of core strength, a little bit of dexterity as he moves across the room. He's got long, kind of plaited, braided hair that's tied back in a tight knot, but it cascades down over his shoulders. He's got purple eyes that pierce out from large circular glasses that he constantly needs to adjust back up onto his face. He has tattoos covering across his body, and a couple of glyphs, which sometimes shimmer with magical effect depending on what he's doing. He also has a few gadgets, books, and other gizmos along his belt, showing off some of his focuses. And generally, he has a large scroll floating in front of him, recording all of his ramblings and what he's doing, which currently would be kind of mapping out the area. Anybody he meets, he like gets their name and jots down a quick note about them and what his opinion of them is. Yeah.
Fantastic. And same thing for the others. How is Lucian feeling right now? What is he thinking? I know we've established that this is probably something that Lucian's been looking forward to for a while, but give me those thoughts. What is he thinking?
I would say that he is looking forward to getting through this step. He would treat this whole situation, this whole school as merely a stepping stone to the greater things that he wished he could have done and wants to do in the future. So he's going to try to make the best of it, but he might feel that it's slightly beneath what he wants.
For sure. Lucian goes in a little hesitantly into the West Cast building, and I assume you're sort of like scanning the walls, trying to see like, does this measure up to what I want? If everything's not, within my preferences, it's going to be a red flag. But you're walking through the West Cast building. It's very nice. It's very clean. This seems very in a word, humble and modest so far. Like, you've seen the smaller part of campus. There was that nice little fountain at the front, but it's nothing extravagant. You go to the West Cast building. They give you your room assignment, which for you is going to be Sarosh Hall, which is towards the northern end of campus, up towards the main academy building. They send you along your way, and you go there. Next, let's go ahead and go to Rosari's. I already know that you were walking along with, and I'm going to pull up her picture now, a young woman around the same age as you. She's got strawberry blonde hair, freckles, rosy cheeks, a big, big smile. She's very, very friendly. She's walking along with you. You're carrying probably all of the bags, if I'm not mistaken. It's not like you guys have too much to bring with you, but, you know, probably a big stuffed backpack each. I'll let you describe what Rosari's looks like and how he feels going into this day.
So Rosari's is about 6 foot. He's roughly 18 years old. He has dirty blonde hair, almost brunette, but dirty blonde. Hazel brown eyes, but you can't really see either of those features underneath his helmet. He's constantly wearing his armor, and he has a shield with some inscriptions on the inside of it. And yeah, he's definitely being forced to carry. He's the pack mule for Kata, just kind of carrying everything for her, and he doesn't want to be barked at otherwise, so he's just going to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think going into it, he's pensive, but you can't tell. He's very stone-faced, and he's just constantly looking, analyzing who's there, who might be a threat, who might be a potential ally.
For sure. You and Kata walk through the doors to the West Cast building, and she sort of catches you eyeing everybody and knows your tendencies, and she smacks you on the shoulder and recoils her hand a little bit because you're wearing all of your armor. And she says, "Hey, lighten up. This is the first day of school. You need to, like, be friendly to people and, like, talk to them."
That's your job, not mine.
Sure, buddy. She leaves you behind, walks up to the desk. Mr. Green, who I also have a reference picture for, somewhere, I'll pull it up. He's just a very, I guess the easiest way to describe it is he's just kind of the most average man you could imagine. He's about 5'9". He's got like shaggy brown hair, a little bit of a belly on him, the beard, glasses. Very friendly guy, though. He shakes Kata's hand, hands her a slip, and he points, you know, in directions, telling her where she's going. She walks back to you, and she says, "Fantastic. Okay, Carnegie Hall. That's an interesting name." Anyway, she grabs her backpack off of you, and she says, "I'm gonna go meet my roommate. You go be friendly, be social. Do not go stand in a corner like you always do. I will see you.
No promises.
I will see you at orientation meeting today." And she starts to head out, holds the door open for someone, smiles at them and waves at them, and then she leaves. You walk up to the desk. Mr. Green gives you your room assignment, and you're going to be in Placides Hall, which he says is actually just down the road from where you are. You go out, you take a left, it's right there. It's hard to miss. It's big, it's made of stone. You'll find it. So Rosari's heads out to go get his room assignment. Next, I kind of want it to be random, but I'm going to pick on Leo.
I knew it.
Yeah. Leo, you're walking up through the gates to campus. Describe to me what Leo looks like. Tell me what he's thinking, how he feels. Give me all of that stuff.
Leo is a half orc. He's got dark black hair, brown eyes, small husks for an orc, soft features. He's got a scarf that he wears around his neck all the time. Underneath that is a necklace. Very clean armor that he's wearing with a very clean shield on his back. This time, weirdly, he has a mace at his side as he's walking in, and he's pretty nervous walking into this place right now. He's never seen anything like this, spending most of his time in Stonewall. So he's kind of looking around in awe
For
at
sure.
everything.
Yeah, those like new place nerves are definitely getting to you right now. Obviously, there's like an excitement and a buzz in the air that might be giving Leo a little bit more confidence about this, but still, that you're going to a new place that you don't really know much about. It's pretty nerve-wracking. So you go into the cast building. Mr. Green gives you your assignment, and he says you're also actually going to be in Carnegie Hall. So he points you in the direction, tells you to go over the bridge across the river on the west end of campus, and it's up north by the main academy building. He gives you your slip, gives you a nice smile. He can actually tell that you're a bit nervous, and as you're about to walk away and you're like looking at it and looking at him, he gives you a friendly smile and he says, "Hey kid, a lot of people are nervous on their first date. You're gonna do great."
Leo's just gonna kind of look back at him, slightly smile and nod, and then walk on.
You leave, and the next person comes up in line. That next person just happens to be Mr. Marcel himself. Let's get that description.
I want to sign up.
Yeah, you are immediately replaced by a super excited man who I'll let you describe, Juan.
You see a 5'10" half elf, silver white hair, purple jacket with a lot of air to breathe, walking with a strut and a smile on his face as he's excited because this is the place he just want to be. Now
For
he's
sure.
all, okay, where do I sign up? Right here? Come on, tell me it's right here.
Mr. Green motions you forward, and he's like, yeah, man, I'd love to see excited students. This is great. What's your name, kid?
Marcel.
Marcel. Antioch.
Yep.
Cool. He pulls up your file, pulls out a slip and hands it to you, and he says, "All right, Mr. Marcel, you're going to be in Soroche Hall. That's going to be on the north end of campus." And then he gives you the directions, tells you where to go. He says, you'll be in this room. Here's your stuff. He sends you on your way, and Marcel skips along.
He's like, wait, goes near him, writes down his initials. That'll be worth a lot of gold in future. And it heads out. Whoa! Earth
Thanks.
Lumis to A! Yeah!
You get super excited and you sort of like dash out the door. As you dash out and like some people recoil and sort of like move away, just like, wow, that guy is super excited. One of the people who recoils at that level of excitement would be Athera. Our last but not least. What does Athera look like? How's she responding to the situation? How's she feeling? Give us some insight.
So Athera is a wood elf. She has long, dark blonde hair, some very deep green eyes, average build for an elf. She's about 5'5", and in this moment she will have stepped back and be watching Marcel with just a hint of like annoyance and a bit of curiosity at how someone can have that much energy.
For sure. You step through the doors. Mr. Green has a couple of students in front of him, but he lets them finish their thing. You wait a couple seconds and follow up with the line, and he sees you, gives you a polite smile, asks your name, pulls your file, and then gives you your room assignment, and you are going to be in Carnegie Hall as well. He gives you the directions, tells you where to go, describes the building, says, oh, it's this nice, very ornate, nice looking building with a lot of plants on the outside. Trust me, you'll recognize it. It's a lot prettier than the rest. And he sends you on your way. With that, we hit everybody, right? That's everybody's characters.
Good
Let's...
Yeah.
We're going to actually jump into y'all's rooms. You know what? Let's leave this to a roll of the die. Can everyone go ahead and give me... I'm going to call it an initiative check. First roll of the season.
Initiative. Okay.
Mhm.
We're rolling. Oh,
We're rolling.
Oh my gosh, it was almost an 18.
Whoa.
What'd you get?
7.
I didn't come here to roll.
That's fine. I got a 2.
Nice.
I got a 12.
4.
Okay, so Marcel got a 12.
Me and Leo are just gonna go take a nap real quick.
Right,
before we-
exactly.
I got
Um,
an 11.
I got a 9.
guys.
Mark just really wants to be
Wow.
here.
Or it's supposed to be a Lucian 9. Who got that? Was the highest a 12? That answers that question. Yes, who got a 12?
Yeah. Me.
Marcel. All right. Phenomenal, I guess. Marcel, we go to Saroche Hall. You approach it, and it is in this northern area of campus right here, just north of the like central island. You pass through some different areas of campus. You approach Saroche Hall, and it is this very elegant and sleek looking building compared to some of the rest that are just kind of like mundane and wooden. This one is definitely like some, for lack of a better term, elven care went into this. It was definitely made as a sort of mage building. There are multiple little towers that sort of spire up from a central square building. Definitely rooms for different students. You see big windows on the side to which you can kind of see some light filtering through, maybe some students walking around inside. You walk in and you go up to your room, and there is someone already inside of there. You hear a couple voices around talking. You walk in and you see 3 people, and I'm going to pull all of them up.
Zach, is that you?
Hey, that's an insult to the Billy. Okay.
Brother.
Oh shit.
So these 3 are all sitting there helping each other unpack. You're not really sure who lives there at this point, but all 3 of them are sitting there. You open the door, look at them. You're in this sort of nicer open room. It's got a big window on one side. You're in like one of the lower levels of one of the towers. And these 3 are sitting in there, and immediately all 3 turn to you, and Billy, the human guy up there with dark hair and glasses, walks up to you, and he's just like, excuse me, are you the other guy who lives here?
Yeah, man. I'm here.
Cool. Well, I'm just going to let you know. And he motions back to your roommate, is the guy with white hair, ironically. And he says, listen, I'm Billy. This is Nelvin. And then he points to the guy with the red hair and he says, this is Simon. We're like the crew, okay? Now, typically, we don't allow for non-wizards to be a part of the crew. But if you're cool enough, we might make an exception.
Oh.
Uh,
Awesome, man.
Nelvin walks forward. He's got like this spiky white hair. He's got like a couple small scars on his face, and he looks like he's got kind of like a glimmer to his eyes. He looks very excited to be here, and he walks forward and he's like, "Hey, I'm Nelvin. What's your name?"
Marcel.
Marcel. He shakes your hand.
Archimedes.
Oh, great. Hey, well, I'm Nelvin Brogger. Simon kind of already introduced us, and Simon's just like, yeah. And he turns around to continue like taking some stuff out of boxes, and Nelvin's like, he sort of like pulls you over to the side, and he's like, sorry about that. He's really protective. Anyway, so nice to meet you. I'm so excited.
Oh man, I'm excited too.
So
I'm
what?
like,
What class are you, if you don't mind me asking? I know Billy mentioned the wizard thing, but
oh yeah. See, I was like kind of confused a little bit. I kind of understand, but kind of don't. That's why I'm here. School, you learn stuff.
yeah, sure.
Pulls out. This is Jock, and I've been told I'm a warlock.
Jock.
So
Like
yeah.
Jock?
Huh?
Like Jock Jock?
No, like my cousin Jock. Yeah.
Oh.
Jock.
You named your sword after
What's
your cousin. Okay, yeah, fantastic. Well, I mean, so listen, I know some stuff about warlocks. I can gladly sit down with you and tell you some stuff about it before we really start the orientation thing.
Sure.
It's up to you. Yeah, I'm gonna get unpacked. If you want help unpacking, let me know. I'm also gonna help Billy and Simon unpack, but I'm sure we'll have some time. Orientation isn't until later.
Yeah, I definitely have time to unpack. He opens up his bag, just throws it. Okay, I'm done.
Sure. go ahead. I'll let you describe to me. You obviously throw some of your stuff on the rest of this room. And again, this is like a very nice and sort of visually appealing dorm building. You're in this partially circular room with like the big window on one side. It's like a big square window with like a nice windowsill on it. There's a bookshelf to either side. You got your bed, you got a desk, all of this stuff. Do you put any care and effort into making your room decorated?
Oh yeah, he does put some decoration here and there. He puts a lot of his own markings and stuff. Make sure he has his own names. Working out his initials. Like, okay, this could be my thing. No, this is the thing. So this could be a giant mess, but for him, it's beautiful.
For sure. Yeah, it looks absolutely chaotic. While you're setting some of that stuff up, they finish helping Nelvin get his stuff done. Billy, as he's like leaving and leading this group, he's like, all right, we'll catch you later, Marcel. And he leaves.
Catch you later, Billy.
Nelvin's like, see ya. And then Simon, the last guy, he's like very shy. He just like, I'll see you later. And he leaves. So Marcel, you have probably about 2 hours until the first year orientation meeting. What would you like to do in that time?
He's gonna see if there's any books about what the heck a warlock is.
Sure.
One looks stupid. One looks stupid.
Yeah, I'll say on the way out, like Nelvin talked to you and he told you that he has a couple books that you'd be free to like read. So we're gonna say that you start skimming through some of those books and you start looking for stuff that matches what you're all about.
Yes, I do know how to hex.
Fantastic. Nice change of pace that Marcel's sitting there reading. Whose initiative was the second highest after 12?
I have an 11.
11. Athera. Very, very nice. So Athera, you're going to Carnegie Hall. It is this sort of northwestern building beside the main academy building. It has a very, for a lack of a better term, an opera house vibe to it, despite the fact that I named it Carnegie Hall before I knew that that was a music place. But it's the home of the bards, it's the home of the druids and the clerics, so it's got a lot of artistic flavor to it, if that gives you a vibe. You walk in and go to your room assignment, and as you walk in, you reach to the handle and another hand is like reaching for it, kind of at the same, like you guys almost like bump into each other. You didn't expect to be going to the same door, and a very friendly face with, you know, long, pale red hair, freckles, and rosy cheeks looks up at you and she says, "Oh, hi, are you... this your room?"
Yeah. Are you staying here too?
Yeah, hi. She reaches her hand out to shake you. She's like, "I'm Kata Carmen. Nice to meet you."
Hi. And I'll reach out and I'll return the handshake. Nice to meet you.
What was your name?
Oh, yeah, Athera.
Gotcha. Well, hey, she pulls out her key, unlocks it, and holds the door open for her. She's like, do you want any help getting your stuff put up? I don't have much to set up.
Oh, I don't have much either, so I think I'll be okay, but
Perfect.
thank you.
Hey, I'm gonna go to like some of the shops later that I heard about on campus and get some decorations. Do you have any preference? You guys like walk in and she closes the door behind you and starts setting stuff on her desk.
I mean, to be honest, I've never really done something like this before, so why don't we just go with your preference?
Sure. I mean, I'll extend the invitation. If you want to go with me to the shops, I haven't really met many people on campus yet, but if you don't want to go, that's also totally fine. She sort of says that like a question, like, "Do you want to go with me? I don't want to be persistent."
And Athera like looks around the room and she says, yeah, you have fun with that. I'm gonna settle in.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great to meet you. I guess I'll see you at the orientation meeting.
Yes, I'll be there.
Cool. She gives you a big smile, sets sort of like some of her stuff just halfway organized on her desk. She has like some stuff that she tosses under her bed. I'll let you describe to me, how does Athera set up her room? You're in this very again, sort of like artsy, almost like the architecture was made to look a little nicer. It's definitely made out of wood. You have like some really nice framed windows with like silk curtains and things like that. There's definitely some signs of some wear and tear in the room, some scratches and things like that that have been sort of mended over. But how do you set up?
So she's gonna stand in the middle of the room awkwardly until her roommate has left, just kind of watching as she like throws everything around. When she's alone, she'll kind of take her back, set it on the bed, and she'll start unpacking. And her belongings are pretty scarce. She doesn't have a lot that she's brought with her. But what she does have is a couple of plants. They're kind of in like haphazard pots, so it looks like, and it is, that she just picked these up along the way, that there's been particular ones she's seen, so they're small. She'll put them in like the window. She pulls out a little tea set with a little teapot and some cute little like ceramic glasses and stuff to make tea with, and she'll set that on like her desk or side table. And then there's a bunch of like glass jars that are filled with different herbs and stuff, and she kind of sets it all up neatly there. She has one wall hanging that she's going to put above the bed, and it's like just a vibrant green grove of trees that is very comforting to her. And then she has just a little like glass vial, like vase of some incense with like the little wooden rods that you put in them, and it makes it like smell like woody and cozy. Once she's done, she's just gonna pull out like a little journal. She's gonna sit on the bed, and she's going to take a lot of deep breaths and just almost like meditate, like just like taking in everything and trying to process.
Sure. I like it. With that, we will leave Athera in her room to do her journal work as her roommate leaves to go do some decorative shopping in some of the shops around campus. Next, I believe our next highest initiative here was Lucian with a mighty 9. Wow.
Yes.
So Lucian, you get your room assignment. As you're walking up to your room, you are passed by those same 3 that we saw a minute ago in Marcel's room. You got Billy, Nelvin, and Simon. You know, Billy is this gangly, awkward-looking dork with short, dark hair and glasses. Nelvin is a little bit shorter. He's a half-elf, weirdly, being the shortest one in the group. Spiky white hair, couple, like, small scars and, like, birthmarks. And then you have Simon, who's, like, this tall, gangly, redhead, like, wavy, curly hair. Billy's leading the group, and they see you passing, and Billy sees you walk in the hallways. And he's like, as you pass him, he just goes, "Sup, bro?"
Lucian will just look him up and down and take a wide berth around him.
As you pass him, he just goes, "I'm gonna like that guy." You head off towards your room. You unlock the door. You open it, and your roommate's not there yet. But you do open it. You're in one of the towers. There are, like I said, a couple different towers, like 5 that Soroshal is made up of. You're on one of the higher floors, so you've got like that nice, beautiful view looking over part of campus. You got that big square window in the center of the room against the far wall from the door. And you're in this sort of like partially curved room. You got that curved back wall and then that sort of like slanted inwards wall. I'll ask you just arbitrarily, do you take the right or the left side of the room?
The right.
You go along to the right side of the room. Your roommate's not there yet. It looks fairly empty right now. Doesn't look like anyone's dropped their belongings off. So, how do you begin setting up?
So the first thing Lucian's going to do is he's going to kneel down on the floor and pull out this piece of string and a tiny carving of an owl. And he's going to begin weaving an enchantment which produces this strange shimmer in the space before him, and it grows rapidly, diluting the vision of anybody who would be looking through if there was somebody there. And as the 10 minutes pass, the spell completes, and the shimmer dissipates as he casts the spell Unseen Servant. And what he's going to do is start with the servant and himself. He's going to start moving things all over the room to exactly where he likes it. The servant's going to be unloading his bags. Mage Hand is going to be flying around the room, picking up things and putting it on the high shelves. And when he's fully satisfied, he's going to find a chair and just admire everything, find that something's out of place, and shift that again until he likes where it is.
As you are sitting there in your chair, sort of looking back against your belongings that have been very neatly sort of placed about, I'll even let you tell me, what are some examples of your belongings? Obviously, being a wizard student, you would have the occasional like book or magic knickknack, but are there anything special that you have, or any specific details that you want to include?
Aside from many books and notes of his alchemy, astronomy, creature studies, and many of his tools and gadgets that he, either creates or has just carried along with him, he does particularly enjoy a small music box. And he carefully guards this anytime that he's not in the room, but he places it on kind of the desk, if there is a desk.
Yeah.
And it plays this soft, classical melody throughout the room.
Very nice. As that is happening, you hear the door start to jangle, and it opens, and in walks, I'm going to pull up his picture now, a very... well, I don't want to objectify him, but a very attractive young human man. He's got like the wavy blonde hair. He's got like the sharp jawline. Like he's like just like a young, attractive dude. He looks like he could be like a Hollister model. He's about 6 foot tall. He walks in talking very, very like fondly and friendly with the person walking behind him, whose picture I'm also going to pull up. And they're talking about like, dude, my roommate is just kind of weird. And then in walks an owl. I'm just gonna put it bluntly. This guy is a like 5'10" owl, which you might have read about in some things, but you've never seen one before. He's wearing like these robes that cover most of his body. They walk in, and the blonde kid sort of like turns and looks at you, and he just goes, "Oh, your roommate's here, Denny." Hey, man.
Immediately, first thing before anything happens, I quickly shut the music box, which makes its way into my pouch with my mage hand.
Yeah.
Without even moving or making any noticeable movements. And then I'm going to have it scoop up the figure of the owl, and I'm going to put that in my bag again as well. And I will just turn my chair kind of awkwardly and just glance at them.
As you glance at them, they're like both sort of like halfway frozen, and the blonde kid's just like, sup? That was lame. I'm sorry. Hi. Nice to meet you.
And you are my roommate.
No, he points back at the owl, and the owl's like, hi, my name's Denny.
Right, Denny.
Yeah.
Lucien, de la Ve.
I love it. Interesting. That's cool. Sivik, the blonde kid, introduced himself as, my name's Sivik. This is Denny, my best friend. So, Lucien, quick question for you. How do you feel about those nerds that are walking through the halls right now?
Lucien just raises an eyebrow and quickly decides that he doesn't like this guy and turns back towards his desk, once again looking at everything that may or may not be out of place.
Cool. All right. Well, Denny, let's get you set up. And then they go through, Sivik is his name. He helps Denny sort of unpack his stuff. It seems like they've been friends for a long, long time. Like, they're very comfortable with each other. They're respectful enough not to be, like, super loud, but obviously, like, they're talking and laughing, setting up some memorabilia. Can you go ahead and give me an insight check, if you don't mind?
Sure. The whole while, by the way, you guys can hear scribbles throughout the room as Lucien is silently now writing, with the quill and the floating piece of parchment that Mage Hand is now holding. But I rolled a 4 for insight.
A 4. Okay, I'm gonna give you like the very blunt basics of this. From your knowledge, seems like these guys might come from a little bit of money. Like you're noticing some things that are sort of similar there. Like they have kind of nicer clothes. They're coming in with more stuff than what some other people you've seen have. Denny himself has like not a chest that he brought in, but like a very large bag full of like knickknacks and things that he's putting around the room. He's got like a bunch of books with him, not enough to like fill a bookshelf, but you get the vibe. Anyway, they finish up Denny's stuff. It takes them about 10 or 15 minutes, and then they silently leave you to stay in the room. As they leave out, and then you hear Denny sort of like faintly say, as you're not looking, he's just like, "I'll see you later," and he heads out.
Lucian's gonna stand up and he's gonna just let out just this really exasperated sigh. He's gonna say, "Hi, Quill. I think we got some rich boys in here. Make sure you get that down." And then that's it.
And with that, let's move on to our next person. Who had the next from 9?
It was me.
Fantastic. Gwen. Oh, Gwennifer.
Whatever.
Oh, Gwennifer. You are going to Xanth Hall. This is the Ranger, Rogue, and Artificer dorm. To put it very lightly, it is obvious that these, immediately upon walking in, these were made as a group to put in this hall because it is maybe not as bad as some, but some of the more chaotic students tend to be Ranger, Rogue, and Artificer. So there's a lot of like almost more protective measures here. Like a lot of the walls seem reinforced with like brick. There are some decorations, but it seems much more mundane than some of the other buildings we've been to. You walk in and go to your room. You open the door and you look in and you're like, oh, my roommate's already been here, but I guess she's gone. Her stuff is set up into like this halfway neat, organized stuff. There's like a couple books on the desk, but they're all like tossed sideways. There's some bedding that was thrown on there and like haphazardly made. A couple of knickknacks on her desk. But you walk in and you don't see her there.
All right. I guess I just go in and I empty some of the stuff out of my bag. I put up the like bow. I can't think of the word, but like the thing where you hang the bow. I put that on the wall, and I bring out some like fletching supplies and like some of her adventuring gear that she had since she had such a long trek to get to this school. And then she has just like a little plush, an old like nasty looking stuffed animal that she just puts on her bed, and she just kind of flops down on it and she's like, I can't believe I'm finally here.
Can you roll me a perception check really quick?
Ooh, that's a 9.
A 9.
You know you're not here.
Luckily for you, this is not very hard to see. We were rolling like shit tonight. Luckily for you, this is not very hard to see. You don't see anybody there, but you do see that the door has not closed yet.
Okay. Is there like anywhere where a person might be able to hide?
Behind the door.
All right, I'll just take a gander back there.
You walk over and you see a very short girl. She's got fiery red hair put back in braids. She's wearing this like green, red, and gold. It's kind of ornate, not like rich ornate, but like detailed clothing. She's standing behind the door, dagger up, and she's holding it, and she just goes, "Who are you?"
Oh, whoa. Hey there. I'm just your roommate.
She squints at you, looking at you through her eyes. She's like 3 feet tall. Let me be very real with you here. She is half of your size. She's like holding it up as if she's the bigger person, and she just says, "Are you sure?"
This is the room I got. Is this your room? Because if it's not, then I'm not your roommate.
"This is my room."
Well, then it's nice to meet you. And she sticks her hand out.
She slowly shuts the door and without dropping the dagger, reaches up, shakes your hand, and she just says, "What's your name?"
Oh, Gwendiel.
She just stares at you.
You can call me Gwen.
"Gwen. I can actually pronounce that one. Thank you." She sheaths her dagger, stands up straight, sort of like shakes off her clothes, and she says, "My name's Delphina Rosselli Okadani."
Alphenia, what?
Nope. Not
say
even
that
close.
just a little slower,
Delphina.
please. Alphina?
Delphina
Delphina.
Rosselli
Rosselli.
Okadani.
What?
Donnie.
Okadoni.
Delphina Rosselli Okadani. You can call me Delphina, but if you say my last name, you have to say my middle name.
Can I just call you Delph?
No. Her hand starts going back towards the dagger, and she says, "It's Delphina."
All right, Delphina it is.
She does the little, like, pointing at her eyes and then points at your eyes and walks her way back over to her side of the room. She hops on her bed, which takes some effort, and she sits down, swings her legs off the bed, and she just says, "So, Gwen Badem, who are you? What do you do?"
I'm Gwen. That's who
Yep.
I am. And I'm a ranger.
Cool.
That's pretty much it.
So you like animals and stuff?
I'm good at tracking them.
Do you hunt squirrels
That's it.
very often?
As like a snack, I suppose.
I might need your help later.
Where are you?
She kind of like looks away at you. She looks down at the floor, thinking heavy for a second. She's like, "Okay. Well, I'll see you later." And she hops off her bed, walks over to the window, opens it up, and just like climbs out and shuts it behind her. And climbs. You're on the
Alright.
second floor. She climbs down.
Nice meeting you.
You see a hand wave up from the mirror. Gwen's left in here. You kind of have your stuff like halfway thrown down. What does the setup look like, and how is Gwen feeling after that strange interaction?
Gwen likes her.
Hell yeah.
There's not really anything too organized about her, like, part of the room. She just kind of slapped her stuff there. Nothing crazy.
For sure. You kind of like throw your stuff down. You have the staff, or not the staff, but the first year orientation meeting not too long from now. You have maybe an hour or so before then. So you kind of like look at it and think, I'll get to this later. What do you spend the rest of your time doing? You could like wander around campus. You know, there are some shops that they told you about in the West Cast building. They're like, "Oh yeah, Andra Plaza has some nice shops you can go to." What's the plan?
I'm gonna wander around campus.
Nice. For sure. You wander around, and we're left to go to our next person, Kieran.
Oh boy.
You walk over to Xanthal, which is again this more like almost protective vibe of, we know that you guys are gonna mess a lot of shit up, so we kind of just didn't put a lot of effort to make it look nice. We made it sturdy. So you're in this like brick building that's 2-3 stories high. You walk in, your room is on the first floor. You go over and unlock the door and walk in, and as you walk in, you see that your roommate is clearly already here because half of the room is rearranged, and his desk has been lowered, and it is a little bit like it's like half the size of a normal, like they cut the legs off kind of thing. It still has the drawers on it, and it still has half the legs over here, but like the bottom half is just gone. You see a head flip up. It's got like dark hair on it, big steampunk goggles on his face, and you see a big smile appear on a strangely green face as your roommate looks up at you. And let me just show you his picture. This very energetic and almost chaotic goblin looks up at you, and he just goes, "Hi." He was tinkering with something on his desk. You have no idea what it is. And he looks up at you, goggles on his eyes, and he's just like, big smile.
Hello there.
Hi.
I'm Kieran. What's your name?
I'm Thatch Bagley.
Thatch. That's
Yeah.
I chuckle a bit. Interesting name.
I'm not as interesting as Kieran.
A pleasure then. We'll get along swimmingly. Just don't
Sure.
blow anything up, okay?
Okay, I hope it's okay that I put my desk in the middle of the room. I need space when I work.
Of course. Yeah, I'll just start making myself at home, I guess.
Sure.
Do you partake in any sort of special beverages or anything?
Define special. I love milk.
I've got these leaves you can mix with the milk, and it lets you think of anything in the world. Great for artifices.
I might have to try that. You know,
Yes.
after our orientation meeting tonight, I was planning on taking all the wood from the legs on my bed and my desk and putting it together and building like a small chair. So I could potentially use the help. That might help.
I might got some business plans for you, actually. I
Really?
always like to have some gadgets, and I think we could have a good relationship with that.
I like making money.
Are you any good at chains by chance?
Kinda.
I need a grappling hook.
You see him start to think, and then like a smile spread across his face, and he says, yeah. He immediately puts all of his stuff into one of his drawers, opens his other ones, and he's like, oh, shoot. I don't have any metal.
Leave that to me. I'll find some weird guys with swords and see if I can spy them for them.
That's a good idea. You bring me swords? Well, I'll have to see if I can't use like a forge on campus somewhere, but yeah, I could do that. Do you want a grappling? I can make a grappling hook.
One that can shoot off of a crossbow if possible.
Oh, that's gonna be challenging. Yeah. Okay,
You
I'll think
seem
about
like-
it.
You seem like the type that can do challenging, though.
Oh, of
You do that
course.
for me, and you get an O from me, and people like to be in my favor, I'll say that much.
Okay.
Wonderful. Pleasure to be with you, Thatch.
Pleasure to meet you. Kyle, Corbin,
Kieran.
Kieran. I'll remember it. Don't worry. Anyway, well, now that I put my stuff up, I'm gonna go try to find this orientation room because I have no idea where it's at. So, if you want to come with me, you can. Otherwise, I will see you later.
I'm going to set up the space first, and then I'll be right behind you, probably.
Okay, I'll see you there. And he shuts his stuff and immediately heads out of the room without any change of clothes. He's definitely in some like almost like duster type of attire where he's like almost work-like clothes. He's got the goggles on. He's got like not necessarily a leather jacket, but like a thicker protective jacket. And he just leaves with that. With your roommate gone, how do you set up with your room? There's a desk in the center of it without legs, but other than that, everything seems relatively normal.
I'm gonna keep most of my stuff in my bag as I'm kind of used to, running a lot. But I will like take out a set of clothes for the evening and kind of check all over the furniture for any listening stones or anything, I'm kind of just want to make sure my space is only inhabited by myself and my crazy goblin friend.
Sure. Give me an investigation check. And hopefully it's above a 10. Because good
Oh.
God.
Sadly I got a 0, so let's do this.
Oh, I thought you said you got a 0.
I got a 1 actually, so oh boy.
You scan up and down, and the only thing you find are the legs of the desk that Thatch has already cut off. And you see where he plans to cut off the legs of the bed later.
It's going to be quite a semester. Let's see where I can get some money now. I take out my coin purse and start counting.
Sure. And now let's make that decision. The money that
All
Professor
right.
Tarada gave you after your interview, would you have kept that money and used it wisely, or would you have attempted to double it or triple it?
I think I would have taken half as living savings, and the other half I was going to try to expand with.
Sure. Knowing you, you're a very sly dog. Give me a sleight of hand check, and then your score will determine the result you get. If you get an 18 or higher, you triple that money. If you get a 14 or higher, you double it.
Oh my god.
If you get lower than
How
it,
do I roll 2 ones in a row?
oh my god, you lost all of that money. You're basically broke.
Of course, I rolled the double ones for a session. Let's do this.
Beautiful. Another, it was a nat 1.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah, you check your coin purse and you pretty much like have the 1 gold coin left that you're like, I really don't want to spend this. I got some silver to spare, but
Time to go make some more money. I'm gonna look outside for any grass I can see.
sure. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of grass around campus.
I'm gonna pick a whole bag full and let it dry under a candlelight.
That's how you spend your next hour. All right.
Yes.
Next up, after Kieran got a, 7? Leo's next with a 4 initiative. Leo,
Beautiful.
you head over to Carnegie Hall. It looks like your roommate has already set everything up. You key into the room, open it up. Your roommate has like this nice, beautiful decorations. He's got a tapestry over his bed. He's got a couple books thrown into a bookshelf. Some like little knickknacks on his desk. It looks like organized, but also eccentric. Not chaotic, just eccentric. But you walk in, your roommate's not there right now. You have free reign to sort of get things set up as you want. So go ahead to whatever detailed description you want. How do you set up your room and what thoughts are going through your head?
Nice. Is there another bookshelf in here?
Yeah, you each get like your own small bookshelf.
Perfect. Well, first I'm going to start putting all the books on the shelf, which is quite a few. On the desk, there's going to be more books. He's pretty much a minimalist, so the only other thing that he's really going to do is like hang his shield up over his bed. And that's pretty much going to be it.
I like it. I want to specifically ask, now that you're on campus, what do you do? Because it's very common for people around here, especially when they're about to like leave to go do something or train or whatever, to walk around wearing their armor, their weapon, etc. Obviously on campus, that it's not like the norm, but it is common. What does Leo do in that regard? Do you sort of like stow the weapon for later? Do you keep it on you? Do you wear the armor? What's up?
Well, I want to blend in, so I already stand out because I'm a half orc, I guess. So I'm definitely gonna wear the armor. Put the shield, I guess, back on my back, and yeah, blend in.
For sure. You get everything set up. You probably have some time. As you're setting up, your roommate actually does walk in. Well, 2 people walk in. And I can pull up their pictures if you would like, but a couple familiar faces from a couple minutes ago. A very, like, Hollister model looking blonde man and an owl walking right behind him walk in. You hear the door key open as you're, like, getting your stuff set up. The door swings open and you hear him just go, anyways, yeah, so like your roommate is weird. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? And he just like walks over to his bed. The blonde guy, and the owl's just kind of like walking behind him, listening quietly. And he walks over to his bed and starts like organizing some of his stuff. He looks like he's grabbing like a backpack, and he's getting some stuff ready. Do you say anything?
I'm just gonna look at them and just kind of nod. Not gonna say anything.
You just sort of nod, and then the blonde guy sort of like looks back over it to you, continues talking. He's like, "Oh, you're my roommate. Hello, my name is Sivik Maestrom. It's a pleasure to meet you." And he reaches his hand out.
Leo's gonna go ahead and reach his hand out, shake his hand, and he's gonna be like, "Hello, I'm Leo."
Leo, nice to meet you, man. This is Denny. This is like my bestie for the restie. You know what I'm saying? Really cool guy. Leo, or Denny's just like, "Hi."
Hi, Denny.
Sivik says, "So, you get all your stuff set up?"
Pretty much.
He looks around
I
the
think
room.
I'm good here.
It's like, "Yeah, some nice stuff. I like your armor, all of that." It's very nice. It's very nice.
Pretty minimal.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Live easy.
Well, listen, we're about to go probably scout out this this orientation place ahead of time if you want to come with us. Totally up to you, you know. It's all chill. It's all cool.
Actually, yeah, let's go. I need to get to know this place. Need to
Yeah.
blend in with some people.
Sure, man. Listen, I did some research before we got here. I kind of know my way around campus, I guess. Yeah, it's a nice place. And he leads you out, and he sort of starts like pointing things out as you guys go. Can you give me an insight check if you don't mind?
Sure. $11.
11. Not bad. You can clearly tell that his demeanor changed when he realized he was talking to his roommate from that like very comfortable, friendly guy to like, "What's up, man? I'm super cool," and I'm like, "Chill." It was definitely like a demeanor switch right there.
Oh, wow.
But on an 11, like he still seems all right. He just seems that he might be either trying to fit in, maybe a little insecure. Who knows? But anyway, he shows you around. He like takes you around to a couple different spots on campus. You guys take the long way to the academic building. He sort of like takes you guys by the plaza. He happily pays for you guys to like get a like a snack before the orientation meeting. So you guys get like, you know, just something from a bakery, and you guys head off to the orientation meeting together. And I believe that leaves it to our last person, Rosaries. You head to Placidy's hall.
I rolled a 3. I just have a -1 to initiative, so I got a 2.
You love to see it. You head to Placidy's hall, which is the only building on campus that is made entirely of stone. It has like the roof shingles and stuff on there, but like it's very clear that this was made to be durable, not pretty. You walk through the halls and there are a lot of like athletic people here. You were told that this was the hall with all of the paladins, fighters, barbarians, and monks. Don't know why a monk would be in these halls, but maybe it's to help balance things out. Who knows? You end up going to your room, and you walk in, and your roommate is actually sitting on the bed with another person. So I'm going to pull both of them up. LMNOP. Where's he at? Both of them are half orcs. But they're sitting there. He's like sitting on the bed. She's like kind of standing, leaning against the bookshelf. You walk in and you see his head sort of pop out around. He's got like longer brown hair pulled back. Definitely like, you know, conventionally attractive features, especially for a half orc. He's got a couple tattoos on him, wearing sort of like looser fitting clothing. You see like some armor set over in the corner, a weapon propped up, like a long sword propped up in the corner. Not a lot of decorations or books by any means, but he leans over and he's just like, "Oh, what's up, dude?"
Hi. My name's Rosaries. Are you my roommate?
He stands up and he says, "Yeah, my name's Pietro."
Oh.
And he goes to shake your hand.
I'll cautiously reach my hand out, kind of eyeing both of them.
Yeah, he gives you a very firm handshake, and he says, "Well, hey, we'll give you some space, yeah? Go ahead, set up. All my stuff sort of tossed to the side, so whatever space is left, all yours, buddy." And he sort of like claps you on the shoulder with a smirk, and then he nods his head, and the girl follows behind him. She sort of gives you like, I don't want to say she gives you an eye, but she looks at you and gives you like a polite nod. And if you want to make an insight check about that, you absolutely can. Otherwise, you're just, if you don't care enough, you're free to decorate your room.
I'll insight check it, and I got a nat 20 to balance out everyone else.
Wow!
Or 22.
She is not feeling him.
Me or
the other guy? She's almost here because the vibe you get is she was invited here by him, and she was like, "You know what? It's the first date. What could go wrong?" They get to the room, and things did not go like she misunderstood the invitation a little bit maybe. And she was just not having a good, like, she was glad to get out of there. But she gives you a nod, like a polite smile, almost like a, maybe you're not too bad. Like, you seem nicer.
I'll just give her a polite nod and just raise my eyebrows as I look at his back as he's walking out the door.
She sees that, she smirks a little bit, and she leaves. You definitely get the feeling that, you know, this girl and this guy, like, combat-wise, pretty even match. She seems like she can take care of herself. So she's in no way like, I need you to help me. She's like, if I need to kick his ass, I will. That's the vibe you get from her.
Fair enough. I like this building.
But yeah, what's the room situation look like? And I'll ask you the same question as our lovely cleric over there. The armor, weapon, shield setup. How does that go?
Full armor on, helmet on, shield on my arm, not on my back, and I casually walk around. Like, my natural pose is to keep my hand on the top of the pommel of my sword. Not like gripping it to pull it out, just kind of casually laying on top of it.
Nice.
And then I also have a dagger on the other side. So
Wonderful.
I'm fully decked out.
Yeah. Any details about the room? How does that look for you?
It's gonna be pretty basic. I'll lay a couple books on my desk, and then I look at the stand for my armor that's empty right now, and I just kind of smirk, realizing that it's not really ever gonna be used. So I just kind of move it off into the corner. And then I try to figure out where in the world I'm gonna put my cleansing stone, because it's like a foot long.
I mean,
So I don't know where.
there's space to like roll it underneath your bed, at least for now.
So yeah, I'll just set it underneath my bed, maybe at like the foot of it, just sort of thing, but somewhere where it's out of the way. But yeah, I don't have any decorations. I have a few sets of clothes to just toss in a drawer somewhere, and then I'll probably start wandering around campus, trying to find good potential allies.
Sure. Is there any actual metric for that? Like, what kind of person are you specifically looking for? Because you might actually bump into some.
I think with me being, I'm really confident with my martial skills. I'm gonna try to figure out who looks like a spellcaster.
Sure.
Who looks like, and I don't want someone who's like really cocky, because that's gonna be annoying. But like someone who walks around like, I know I'm good, but I know I'm not the best, sort of feel.
Yeah. I get you. That's actually a tough one. How many of you guys, for the rest of the party, left your room? I will ask that.
I left.
Gwen left.
Yeah, after Marcel skims the book, he definitely would leave. Like,
Sure.
Oh yeah, I got it. I'm good.
Yeah, you skim it. You're like, oh, there's this thing called a hex blade. Pfft, sounds right to me. And you don't even care to read that many of the details. You're just like, I got a name. I'm happy, and you leave.
I got enough words.
Leo, you left with Sivik and Denny.
Yep.
For sure. I think Kieran left to go do other things, but that gives me a good basis. Give me an investigation check, Rosaris. Keep that high
That
streak
was
going.
almost another nat 20, but it's an 8, 12.
An 8-12. Okay, not bad at all, honestly. You get a couple options to describe them to you. You see Billy and his two cronies, Simon and Nelvin, who you don't know their names, but you see them walking around, those like gangly, awkward guys. You look at Billy, and your first instinct is like, whoever's the leader of this group is probably not who I want to talk to. But you look at Nelvin and Simon, you're like, they look maybe not bad. Maybe. You also see Sivik, Denny, and Leo walking around. So Sivik's that like handsome, like curly blonde hair. He seems like he is like essentially escorting the other two around. Denny looks like a very quiet little owl, which probably shocks you at first whenever you see it. You can tell he's a caster, and you can tell that like from his demeanor, he's probably shy. And then you see Leo, who you already know what Leo looks like. He's walking around in full armor, right? But you're like, that's a cleric. The other two look a little more arcane. That guy's a cleric.
I'm gonna hear Belly talk, and I'm gonna immediately not want to deal with that. So I guess I'm gonna go up. I think I'm gonna try to approach Denny first, out of that trio.
Sure. You walk up, and they're like walking around with some like scones or just like some little bakery snack food. Syvik's sort of like pointing out some of the buildings. I'm gonna say you guys are right around like the Magi Garden at this point. So Syvik's talking to you, Leo, and he's like, yeah, so this place is like apparently Isomifi Baron's like little project area. Some of the higher level wizard and sorcerer students mess with it. You know, it's got like some cool plants. It's got some magical effects going on. Not really many people know other than the people who like help work it, but it's really pretty to look at. And as he's explaining that to you, Rosaris and your clink, clank, clink, clank sort of walk up to, you walk up to Denny, who's like sort of off to the side. And how do you get his attention? I'll ask that.
I'm just gonna be really loud, like accidentally bump my shield into my scale or not chainmail armor, not scale mail, chainmail, and kind of like just be really loud walking up to him, and then like bump into him a little bit, but like not enough to hurt him, just because I don't want to hurt the little owl, but enough to like get him to turn around and look at me. I'll start apologizing.
Yeah, actually, as soon as you like bump into him a little bit, he immediately like moves and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. And then he hears you apologize and he sort of looks at you and he's like, "You're fine. Go ahead."
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a new experience and I was not paying attention. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I get it. We're all sort of like looking around at campus, right?
Yeah. Do you mind if I walk around with y'all? I don't really know anyone else on campus.
As Denny starts to like look over to Syvik and Denny, or not Syvik and Denny, but Syvik and Leo, Syvik walks over and he's just like, "Hey Denny, who's this guy?" And he sort of like walks up to you, kind of crosses his arm and starts sizing you up.
I'm going to immediately cross my arms and start sizing him up as well.
You do that, and then he sort of like leans his head to one side.
I'm gonna lean to the opposite side.
He leans to the opposite side.
I lean to the opposite side.
He turns to Denny. He's just like, "I like this guy. Nice to meet you, man. I'm Syvik."
I'm Rosaris, and I'll stick my hand out.
Yeah, you guys shake hands. Syvik's like, "So, we got Denny, Rosaris. This is Leo," and he sort of like motions for you to come forward, Leo. And he's like, "Cool. I mean, we got a whole squad going already. This is nice. This is great."
Yeah, it looked like you knew your way around campus already.
Yeah, I read a lot on it.
That's probably something I should have done. Is it all right if I follow you around, show me around?
For sure. It's probably about time for us to head to the orientation meeting before too long if we want to get a good seat, So we can just head that way, pass through some of the other places on campus. But yeah, happy to have you tag along.
I'm just gonna stay next to Denny, kind of like this is my point of contact with this group.
As you guys are walking, Syvik is still talking to you, Leo, trying to like make a good impression. And he's like, "And that's Sarosh Hall. That's where all like the lamos stay. Like the not lamos. Sorry, Denny, but like a lot of the wizards and sorcerers stay there. That's like kind of not our shtick. Me and Denny tend to roll with the cool crowd." And as he's going along, you can tell that like I'm just gonna ask you instead of telling you, do you let this charade go on or do you play into it? Do you like call him out? What are you doing? Mr. Leo.
I'm just listening. I'm gonna let it play out for now.
You just let it happen.
Yep.
Fantastic. As you guys are walking, Denny sort of asks, he starts to talk to you, Rosarius, very quietly, like off to the side, as you guys are walking. He's like, so, what's your class?
I'm a paladin. And you?
I'm sorcerer. And he sort of like pulls up some sparks with his hand.
Oh, you have a lot better grasp on magic than I do right now.
Well, you would think that. That's part of being a sorcerer. That's kind of why I'm here. It's something that it's very, very untamed in my family, and I'm trying to go to school to help, learn to manage it.
Yeah, I'm all about getting stronger, so more power to you.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to meet a paladin and a cleric, and we have, I don't even know what Civic is, but it seems like we got a pretty good group going so far.
Yeah, for sure. And when he says that, I'm gonna eye the cleric. I'm not gonna say anything to Leo, but I'm just gonna kind of look at him, not trusting clerics all the way.
Do I notice this?
I'm going to say you do. You guys are all sort of in a group, so you're all like looking at each other. Civic's like walking backwards half the time. So yeah, you see Rosari's look to you almost like with a squinted, suspicious glance whenever Denny says cleric.
I'm just gonna kind of give him like a what the fuck look, and then I'm just gonna keep moving.
Sure. And you guys continue on to getting to the main academy building where you guys know the orientations room is going to be. Everybody else, anything we need to tie up before we move on to the first year orientation meeting?
How much grass?
I'm going to say that you are free to collect as much grass as you want. People are going to give you weird looks, but you're free to do it.
I'm being inconspicuous though, like they don't even know what I'm doing. Just like about getting some grass here. Okay.
All right. Sure.
Marcel would actually, he'll be running and yelling like, "Whoa! This is the year, Marcel!" And start screaming. Like if there's like people like reading books up, he's like, "Whoa!" Get in their face and stuff. Yeah. Are you pumped up, man? Main Academy building, here we come! Woo!
As everyone who's outside, at some point, you at least hear and see Marcel. Just running around campus. Even if you're in your room, like Lucian, you can see out the window like that little, white-haired half-elf just sort of like running around like to people on the streets just like, yeah, Marcel!
Yeah, it'd be about this time that I think Lucian would probably be getting up and heading towards orientation. But before he leaves his room, he's going to pull out a tiny bell and a piece of fine silver wire from his pouch. And he kind of holds out the wire in front of him and he rubs the bell along the length of it. And he says, "Defindet parametri." And he casts alarm on his side of the room. So if anybody goes near his stuff, he's going to know about it.
Sick. Just on your side?
Just on I don't care about his stuff. Just my side. And I'm going to position it in a way if the room is smaller than 20 feet that it's I don't care at all for it to overlap in his room. I'll push it through the wall. I don't care.
For sure.
Then I will kind of sigh and say, I suppose I should go at least see this orientation. Don't want to be left behind.